So, hi everyone, this is your girl Queen B. I was just quickly going to go over um, the chit chat that I did last week regarding women wanting to get married again. So, I think in my excitement to share my opinion, I kind of whittled it down to people in their 30s and their 40s, but really I meant to include anyone who desires to get married. So it could have been people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s. Who says a 90-year-old doesn't want to be coupled up? So just for clarification, I really didn't want to exclude any particular group, but I think my emphasis was more on younger women who, because their biological clock is ticking, are kind of under pressure to find a lifetime partner. So that's the crux of the last video. Now, the thing is, most women, when you speak to most women in their late 40s or 50s or even 60s, you talk about marriage, or you talk about, finding a partner, a long-time partner, most people kind of shrug it off and never really want to admit that, one, that they are lonely, two, that they would appreciate having someone they could share life with, and three, that they really would like to be settled, remarry, and be with someone. And I can understand where some of this reluctance to admit their desire comes from, because maybe they've been married before and they've had bad experiences, and sometimes it's just people being in denial that they desire these things. And I think the first thing that you owe yourself is to admit what you desire. What you like is what you like. What you want is what you want. If you think that you are enjoying life as a single person, not coupled up, not wanting to be with someone, to have to answer to someone, because when you're in a relationship, you are accountable to your partner. So if you are in that situation where you don't want to be accountable to someone else, then that's fine. That's okay. But to be honest, there are people, many people, who would love to be in a relationship with someone where they can share life. When I say share life, even the most menial things, just spending quality time with someone, knowing that that person is accountable to you. One, you don't want to be with somebody else's guy. You want to be with your own person. And it's the reverse as well. I mean, okay, maybe the men, kind of the way society has made it possible or allows it, is that a man could have more than 1, 2, 3 women, and they are able to because those women allow them to, whereby a woman is with a man knowing that he's somebody else's, but is willing to compromise. And sometimes the compromise is not because she's willingly compromising, but based on the information that she's been given. Sometimes some of these men tell lies. They tell you all the sub stories that you want to hear and don't want to hear sometimes. There's always this sub story about, me and my wife are no longer together and we are on the verge of divorce. We're just in it for the children. The normal lies that they tell. And sometimes they're believable because you don't identify them with the partner, and they make up good stories. So I can understand a woman who's been through who's been through, you know, a bad relationship, a bad marriage, wouldn't want to couple up with someone again. And it's happy being independent, happy being in a place where she's not accountable to anyone. Unfortunately, if she's been in an abusive relationship, she doesn't want to be a punch bag anymore. She wants to be free. She doesn't want to be intimidated anymore. She doesn't want to be abused mentally, emotionally, financially. So I can see why a lot of matured women shy away from wanting to couple up. But if you think about it, and when you do speak to some of them, they tell you that they desire it. They desire to be in a relationship, but just can't be bothered to go with the hassle of having to weed through, the weed, basically, because you have to get through the weed to find you a good man. There's so many nasty people out there who are ready to use you, take advantage of your loneliness, take advantage of the fact that you desire to be coupled up. And it's so unfair. But guess what? When you truly and sincerely meet somebody, a gentleman or a man who is of like mind and who wants to settle down as well, because it goes both ways. The benefit of sharing life with someone goes both ways. And sometimes the man actually benefits a lot more, because naturally as women, once we are in a relationship, our default position is care, giving care. So you find that the men have that extra, that added bonus of having a partner, because the person is caring for them, making some men, with age, some men become a bit careless and don't take care of themselves. But you find that when you're in a nurtured relationship, the woman nurtures you. She takes care of you. She gives you that little nudge to say, you know what, sweetheart, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Someone who cares for you. So it works both ways. So it's sad when you find a lot of mature men, older men, reluctant to enter into relationships with the more matured woman, and they would prefer, their preference, it's a younger girl, and there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what they prefer, that's what they prefer. But oftentimes it doesn't work out, because either I'm not saying all marriages where there's an older man and an older lady, I'm not saying it never works out. There are exceptions, but predominantly they don't work out, because the age difference always causes a wedge in the relationship. After a while, the older man has his insecurities and he starts becoming possessive, and out of that possessiveness there could become emotional abuse, and at times physical abuse. And then sometimes you find the younger girl wanting more out of life, but the older man is not able to keep up. And then she's got her younger friends that she wants to hang out with, and he feels, oh, every hangout probably would lead to something else, so he's kind of guarded and monitors her every move, and it does become, it places a strain on the relationship. So if more matured men, if you're divorced, you're widowed, or never been married and still single, listen, there are good women out there desiring to, be in a healthy relationship. They're not desperate. So don't get it twisted. These women are not desperate women. They would just prefer to be in a loving, respectable relationship with a man who would respect them, respect their boundaries, appreciate them for who they are, which is added value to them, and just enjoy life. The older woman, I would say between 50, 60s, you're thinking about retirement, so you're looking for someone to enjoy life with, to travel, even just being at home. It's lovely to have good company when you're home. So I think more men need to, look around them and look around and see that they are good women. Stop running the streets, you men. Stop running the streets and, pay attention around you. It could be a family friend, it could be a friend of a friend. I know that the online dating scene is it's really active, but I think that a lot of the matured women are a bit hesitant to go onto those sites because safety, they're concerned about safety. The young ones, even the young ones who dip in and out of these sites struggle, because they're all sorts of weirdos. You can't trust everything you see there. And there's some people who are registered on multiple sites and you just don't know. So I think a referral is a good thing. If you have a friend and you know a friend who knows a friend who is single, hook them up. Hooking up, it doesn't necessarily mean, having sex the first time you meet these people. No, build a friendship, build a relationship, and then take it from there, because then you're able to assess this person for yourself. You don't just jump head on, and then, later you go back and you blame your friend, oh, the so and so you introduced me to is what. No, take your time, build a friendship, see the things that you share in common, because it's so important that you have something in common with this person, because there's no point just going by looks. It's okay to look good. It's okay to go for a handsome guy. It's okay to go for a beautiful woman. But if you don't share, common interests, then it becomes boring after, in a short while. Think about it. Does he like to travel? Do I like to travel? Does he like kids? Because you might already have, grandchildren, and, he might not be tolerant of them. Are you still thriving when it comes to, are you still actively working? And if you are, is this person able to support you while you still work? Financially, what's the status? Is he financially secure? Because no one wants to take on a burden, especially as you get older. You're preparing for retirement, you're having to manage your funds wisely, so nobody wants to take on someone who's going to come and fleece them, so you have to ask these questions. You can't just meet someone and think, oh, perfect, I found the guy, he's good looking, he's learned blah blah. No, you got to do the homework. You got to make your research, inquire about him, ask people about him. Whatever you need to do to know if this person is sane, do a criminal check. We live in a crazy world right now, so that you've got to do all of those things too before you think about, settling down and finding that lifetime partner. So, yeah. I'm going to keep talking about this because it's something I'm so passionate about. And if you are not someone who is interested in finding a lifetime partner or being in a healthy long-term relationship, when you do see my video, just as we say back in Nigeria, jump and pass. Let those who are interested or who knows someone who's interested watch and encourage a friend, and and share the video. You never know, there might be a man who's out there wanting to couple up but just hasn't built up that confidence to make that move. They might make that move. Or there might be a woman who's said, you know what, I'm not interested, I don't want to do this, I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt to show for it, might see this video and say, you know what, I might give this a second thought and say, it's not such a bad idea to couple up with someone and have a lifetime partner. So hey, I hope that I get some feedback and there's some positive connections or reconnections. You never know, that ex-boyfriend you had before, who knows, just invite me to the wedding. I've got so many lovely clothes I could wear out, but nowhere to go yet. So Good luck to all those who are searching. And until then, ciao Bella. Bye-bye, Queen Bee.